This program contains dramatic reenactments and material that may be disturbing to some audience members. Viewer discretion is advised.
A vicious predator ambushes a mountain biker with explosive force.
It's like getting hit by a vehicle.
The mountain lion moves straight for the kill.
He separated my ear from my skull.
With jaws like a vice,
His fangs, one broke my nose, the other went into my upper lip.
the beast inflicts gruesome damage.
It was like a hot knife through butter.
Her friend fights desperately to save her,
Help had to come quick.
but the odds are overwhelming.
Things started to go black. This is basically the end of my life.
Aniela was an adventurous tomboy growing up in Apple Valley, Minnesota.
One thing I remember, my parents limited us to 1 hour of TV a day. So we were told, get outside and go find your own fun.
Anne grew to be a strong, independent woman. And at 19, she shocked her family when she enlisted in the Marine Corps. She was stationed in Southern California, the perfect spot for someone with a passion for the outdoors.
I worked as a hydraulics mechanic on helicopters, and I actually really enjoyed my job, and it's what really allowed me to fall in love with California and the reason I live here today.
Mountain biking became her sport. One of her favorite rides was in nearby Whiting Ranch Wilderness Park and a narrow twisting trail called Cactus Hill. A mountain bike race even ignited the courtship with her husband, James.
I had passed this girl on the road just before we got off onto the dirt.
James has a tough exterior, very experienced martial artist, but he has this tender heart.
She's stuck in my mind, you know, and it's kind of like those voices go off like, that's the one.
It turned out they had mutual friends, and things moved quickly from there.
I knew she was the one I was gonna marry literally within a week, so I think I was 4 or 5 weeks before I proposed.
One of Anne's favorite biking partners was Debbie Nichols. They're both hardcore riders.
We were similar in wanting to kind of just focus and no nonsense, that kind of riding.
We both like to have fun, but we like to just get out there and ride.
On Thursday, January 8th, 2004, Anne and Debbie set out for a short ride after work.
We were going to do a quick 45-minute loop, get in and out.
They climbed to 4 corners
Want to hit Cactus? All right.
and then dropped into Cactus Hill Trail for a fast ride down.
And I just didn't have any idea how my life would change after that day.
Anne was speeding along in the lead when suddenly she came upon another rider.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, I found an abandoned bike.
When he said that, I thought he's joking around with me. I thought he's just messing with me. So I actually continued on and really didn't think much of what he had just told me.
How's it going?
Anne pushed ahead and careened down the narrow trail.
I came up over a little rise and was just about to head down for the final descent on the trail when I caught just a glimpse, this flash of movement. My first thought was that I had just startled a deer and that the deer was going to jump across the trail.
There was no time to even complete her thought.
I felt a very strong impact. I felt the animal grab a hold of me, and I knew right away, this is no deer.
Aniela was in the death grip of a mountain lion. Mountain biker Aniela was speeding down a narrow trail when she was ambushed by a ravenous mountain lion. Mountain lions, also known as cougars, can leap 40 feet to strike their prey.
The mountain lions hunt by stealth and ambush. They hit the animal hard, latch on with their claws, and then reach around and kill the animal by suffocation.
Aniela was up against the perfect predator.
The impact is like nothing I've ever experienced before. I mean, I can only imagine it's like getting hit by a vehicle.
The lion's razor-sharp claws ripped into Anne's shoulders.
The animal is so strong, and I cried out, Jesus, help me.
Help me!
The lion had grabbed me by the back of the neck, but I could tell he was making an effort to move around to the front. So what he would do is grab me by my neck and drag me a foot or two and then readjust. So when he readjusted, he clamped down over my left ear and separated my ear from my skull. He readjusted again. This time he clamped down onto the left side of my face. So his upper fangs, one broke my nose, the other went into my upper lip, and the lower fangs went into my cheek. And as he closed down his grip, it was like a hot knife through butter. My face, I could feel it just peel away.
The mountain lion can pick up an animal that weighs more than itself and run with it, jump with it, carry it for up to a half mile, and even go over fences in the process.
And the thing that was shocking to me was how easily he did it. It felt like nothing. At that moment, it's the only time I thought I couldn't handle what had just happened to me, and I told myself I would rather die.
But then James flashed in her mind.
And my next thought was of my husband and thinking he would want me to fight. And so just in that instant, it's like switching gears and, you know, being ready to give it my all.
She called on the martial arts James had taught her.
Even though I felt very helpless and overpowered, I was trying to punch with my right arm over my shoulder, and I was hitting him in the face, but it had no effect at all.
It had only been seconds since the start of the attack, but for Anne, time was standing still. Then Debbie approached the gruesome scene.
I start hearing this really horrific screaming. I see a large mountain lion.
He has me by the face, and I'm looking up and I'm seeing Debbie's face and the look of terror, and more than anything, she's angry.
Debbie reacted with blind rage, and the only weapon she had.
I throw the bike thinking that's gonna do something, and it doesn't.
She could see he was moving down into the ravine, dragging me by my head, and she grabbed onto my calf. And it basically became a tug of war between the lion and Debbie, Debbie trying to slow his progress.
Debbie is a mother and grandmother, and perhaps maternal instinct fueled her extraordinary courage.
He was incredibly strong. I couldn't believe that he could move both of us with my heels digging in, and he was pulling both of us, you know, just filleting her face wide open. And I'm just saying to her, Anne, I'm not letting go, I'm not letting go, and I'm just praying in my mind, you know, God give me the strength.
Debbie continued to ignore all risk to herself and refused to let her friend die.
I'm letting it go.
But the mountain lion maintained a laser focus on his prey.
He didn't ever snarl at me. He didn't really any engagement with my eyes.
Now, Anne felt the beast moving closer to her throat and the final kill.
One of the things they teach you in martial arts is if someone is going for a choke, you bring your chin to your shoulder and you try to close that gap so that they can't get a choke on you. So I tried to kind of maneuver my head to make it so my neck wasn't so exposed, but he went for the front of my neck and closed down his grip, and it felt like a vice. Right away, things started to go black, and I knew, you know, this is basically the end of my life. I remember looking at Debbie, basically saying goodbye to my friend, this is it. And I blacked out.
Anne Yella was being mauled by a mountain lion, while her friend Debbie Nichols tried to hold on to Anne, beat off the wild cat, and scream for help.
It's just instinct to not let go, to just be holding on with your life, you know, to a dear friend. Help had to come quick. It wasn't going to be a situation that could go on very long.
Other mountain bikers appeared on the trail. Finally, one rock got the predator's attention.
They hit the mountain lion on the back of his neck, and he took off.
I'll call 911.
This area normally had no cell service, but miraculously, one of the riders got a signal and contacted 911.
Yeah, we got a woman. She's been attacked by a mountain lion.
Help's on the way. Stay with me. Can you hear me?
I came to, and I was shocked that I was still alive. And I was laying on my back. I couldn't get any air. I just felt like I was drowning, and I realized I was probably choking on my own blood.
You guys help us out. Help us out.
All right, 911's on their way. You guys are easy.
And up. Good. Very good. Very good.
I could feel the weight of my cheek hanging down. It's almost like you feel a stake hanging off your face. You know, it felt very strange and unusual.
Right here, let's put it right here.
From the end of my eyebrow, in a crescent shape to my mouth, this big hunk of meat was peeled back to my nose.
Are you okay? It's still out there, right?
Okay. Stay with us, Sam. Stay with us.
It wasn't long after that I could see paramedics with a board coming down the trail. I felt a relief that, there was somebody that was going to help and get her out of here quickly.
Ma'am, can you hear me? Are you conscious? Everything is going to be okay, okay?
The paramedics arrived in just 19 minutes. One of the paramedics was shaking badly as he did his work.
Just try and relax, okay?
One of the helicopter pilots flying overhead could see the mountain lion crouched down right down that hillside. So here this paramedic is working, knowing the lion is to his back.
1, 2, 3, and lift.
You got this. You'll be all right.
The skilled medevac pilot was able to maneuver the helicopter into the rugged area and airlifted Anne to Mission Hospital. In the operating room, doctors assessed the severity of her injuries. The displacement of half her face, 2 severed facial nerves, and numerous bite wounds 3 and 4 inches deep. But despite the extensive damage, she would survive. It was nothing short of a miracle.